Chapter 1. A gentle beginning. In the soft hush of a starlit evening, where the world slows its hurried spin and the night air carries the faint scent of blooming jasmine and warm hearth fires, dear listener, let us embark on a tranquil journey through the whispers of time. A dreamy sleep story of how families built generational wealth, not through thunderous conquests or glittering spectacles, but through the quiet, enduring threads of legacy and money's gentle flow, like a serene river weaving through valleys of memory, carrying tales from one heart to another across the ages. Imagine yourself nestled in a cozy alcove, the weight of the day melting away like mist at dawn, your breaths deepening as we begin with the simplest of origins, where stories of family fortunes unfold, not in dramatic flourishes, but in the peaceful rhythm of shared wisdom, passed down like heirloom quilts warmed by generations, inviting you to drift into relaxation, where the essence of wealth reveals itself as a tender bond between past, present, and the dreams yet to bloom, fostering a sense of calm continuity that lulls the mind into restful repose, much like the moon's gentle glow guiding nocturnal travelers home without a sound. Dear listener, allow this gentle beginning to envelop you like a soft blanket on a cool autumn night, your eyelids growing heavier with each whispered word, as we envision a humble village nestled in rolling hills, where twilight paints the sky in hues of lavender and gold, and families gather around flickering candlelight in thatched cottages, scented with fresh-baked bread and herbal teas steeping in clay pots, their conversations flowing like a quiet stream, recounting the modest ways ancestors sowed the seeds of prosperity. Here, in this peaceful setting, the story takes root, with grandparents leaning close to wide-eyed children, voices low and melodic, sharing how wealth began not as mountains of gold, but as careful steps saving a few coins from market days, tending small plots of earth that yielded golden grains, or crafting goods traded in nearby fairs with a handshake and a smile, the air alive with the subtle aroma of turned soil and polished wood, fostering a dreamy atmosphere where money's legacy is woven into family lore without the rush of ambition, lulling the listeners into a state of serene reflection, where each tale becomes a bridge across time, connecting hearts in the unbreakable chain of heritage, turning bedtime stories into vessels of enduring value, peaceful and profound. Feel the night's embrace drawing you deeper as these narratives unfold in the village's quiet lanes, lined with ancient oaks whose leaves rustle faintly like pages turning in a well-loved book. Elders recalling how their forebears, simple folk with calloused hands and hopeful eyes, first glimpsed the path to legacy through everyday diligence, harvesting olives under sun-dappled groves, or weaving fabrics by lamplight that danced shadows on whitewashed walls. Each effort a silent investment in tomorrow, scented with the earthy tang of fertile soil and the sweet bloom of wildflowers nearby. In this gentle beginning, wealth emerges not as a distant dream, but as a living tapestry, threads of gold and silver, intertwined with threads of love and wisdom, passed from parent to child in moments of quiet counsel by the fireside, where the crackle of logs harmonizes with soothing voices, evoking a sense of timeless security, lulling you into a dreamy haze where the boundaries between generations blur, fostering an inner peace that money alone cannot buy, yet which it helps preserve, like a cherished locket holding portraits of those who came before, ensuring the story's flow continues in harmonious whispers through the night. As the stars twinkle overhead like scattered coins in the velvet sky, imagine the families retiring to their beds of straw and feather, the air cooled by evening breezes carrying hints of rosemary from kitchen gardens, their minds at ease with the knowledge that these tales of modest starts form the foundation of greater legacies, where wealth is measured not in vaults, but in the quiet strength of bonds unbreakable, dreamy in their simplicity, inviting you to close your eyes and float along this narrative river, where the gentle beginning sets the stage for seeds to sprout, fortunes to grow, and inheritances to flourish in the soft light of dawn's promise, without haste or clamor, just the peaceful unfolding of life's most enduring gifts. Chapter 2. The First Seeds of Wealth. In the tranquil aftermath of our gentle beginning, where the night's soft veil drapes the village in peaceful slumber like a mother's tender embrace, dear listener, let us now drift into the dawn's early light, where the first seeds of wealth take root in the fertile soil of humble endeavors, not through grand schemes or fleeting fortunes, but through the steady, rhythmic toil of a small family tending their modest plot or bartering simple goods in sun-kissed markets, fostering a dreamy foundation where money's legacy begins as quietly as a seedling pushing through earth, carrying the promise of growth across generations. Imagine the morning mist rising from dew-kissed fields, scented with the fresh, loamy aroma of turned soil, and blooming wildflowers. As a family rises with the sun, their hands calloused yet gentle, planting grains that will yield golden harvests or crafting wares from local woods, each action a whisper of potential wealth, lulling you into a state of serene contemplation where the essence of prosperity sprouts from patience and care, much like how a quiet stream nourishes a valley without fanfare, inviting relaxation as we explore these unassuming origins that bloom into enduring legacies. Dear listener, allow the warmth of this emerging day to soothe your thoughts like sunlight filtering through leaves, your breath sensing with the earth's gentle pulse as we envision this small family in their thatched home nestled among rolling hills where the father, with weathered features and a knowing smile, guides his kin in the art of agriculture, sowing barley seeds in neat furrows under skies, painted in soft pastels, the air alive with the chirp of awakening birds and the subtle scent of damp clay, each planted row a modest investment in tomorrow's bounty, traded later for coins that clink softly in a leather pouch, hidden beneath the hearth for safekeeping. Here, in this peaceful routine, wealth's first seeds are sown not in pursuit of riches, but in harmony with nature's cycles, the mother weaving baskets from river reeds to sell at village fairs, her skillful hands turning simple materials into vessels of value, fostering a sense of quiet abundance that lulls the family into evenings of shared stories by candlelight, where lessons of thrift and foresight are passed like heirloom tools, dreamy in their simplicity, ensuring that these beginnings, free from haste, lay the groundwork for fortunes that grow steadily, like vines climbing ancient walls in the gentle breeze. Feel the earth's nurturing embrace, drawing you deeper into repose, As the family's days unfold in rhythmic harmony, the children learning to tend livestock, their laughter mingling with the lowing of cows in pastures, scented with fresh hay and wild herbs. Each chore a building block of generational knowledge, where trade begins with bartering eggs for cloth or honey for salt in bustling, yet calm marketplaces, the exchanges sealed with nods and warm handshakes, planting seeds of trust that blossom into lasting networks. In this idyllic scene, wealth emerges organically from the sweat of brows and the wisdom of seasons, not as a distant goal, but as a living part of daily life, lulling you into a dreamy haze where money's roots delve deep into family bonds, without the strain of ambition, just the peaceful assurance that small, consistent efforts yield harvests of security, turning furrowed fields into symbols of legacy's quiet promise, inviting your mind to wander freely in the soft glow of possibility. As the sun climbs higher, casting golden rays over the landscape like scattered coins from the heavens, the family pauses for a midday meal of bread and cheese under a shady tree, their conversations flowing softly about dreams for the future expanding, the plot or saving for a better plow each word, a seed of aspiration sown in fertile hearts, the air perfumed with ripening fruits nearby, fostering a serene optimism that wealth, born from such humble soil, will nourish generations to come, dreamy and unhurried, leading us gently toward the modest fortunes that await in tranquil succession. Chapter 3. The Modest Fortune. In the serene progression from those first seeds of wealth, where the earth's nurturing embrace cradles the budding shoots under a canopy of soft morning light, dear listener, let us now wander gently into the unfolding of a modest fortune, emerging not from sudden windfalls or lavish excesses, but from the patient accumulation of daily labors and wise savings, like a quiet brook swelling into a steady stream that nourishes the lands it touches, fostering a dreamy sense of security that builds generational wealth through humility and steadfastness. Imagine the sun climbing higher in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over the family's fields, scented with the rich, earthy aroma of ripening grains and the faint sweetness of wild berries ripening on nearby bushes. As the fruits of their toil begin to manifest, a small surplus of crops sold at market, coins carefully counted and tucked away in a hidden jar beneath the cottage floor, each addition a whisper of progress, lulling you into a state of peaceful relaxation where the essence of fortune is revealed in its unassuming grace, much like how a single acorn grows into a mighty oak over unhurried seasons, inviting your mind to drift along this tranquil narrative of growth and legacy. Dear listener, surrender to the gentle rhythm of this modest ascent, your breath slowing to match the calm pace of the family's days. As we envision them in their humble abode, the father rising before dawn to tend the expanded plot, now dotted with rows of wheat, waving softly in the breeze like golden waves on a serene sea, his efforts yielding enough to trade for a few tools or a sturdy cart. The air filled with the subtle sounds of hoes striking soil and birdsong harmonizing in the background, each harvest a building block of their emerging fortune. The mother, with her intuitive wisdom, manages the household with care, preserving fruits in clay jars sealed with beeswax, their tangy scents mingling with the warmth of fresh-baked bread from the stone oven, turning simple meals into symbols of abundance, where savings are not hoarded greedily, but set aside thoughtfully for rainy days, fostering a dreamy atmosphere of contentment that lulls the family into evenings of quiet gratitude, gathered around the table with flickering candlelight, casting soft shadows on walls adorned with woven tapestries. Stories shared of how these modest gains, a handful of silver coins from selling wool, or bartered goods from neighbors, form the foundation of a legacy that will endure, without the allure of extravagance, just the peaceful assurance that diligence weaves wealth into the fabric of family life, like threads of gold subtly embroidered into a cherished quilt passed down through time. Feel the sun's gentle warmth enveloping you like a comforting shawl, as the family's fortune modestly expands through seasons of consistent effort, the children now growing taller and stronger, assisting in the fields by gathering sheaves or tending to the livestock, their small hands learning the value of work as they help fill the granary with amber grains that gleam like buried treasure in the dim light. The scent of hay and fresh milk permeating the barn, each task a lesson in building wealth from the ground up. In the village market, held under ancient oaks whose leaves rustle like whispers of encouragement, the family barters their produce for essentials and a bit more a bolt of fine cloth, perhaps, or seeds for new crops, coins clinking softly in pouches as deals are struck with warm smiles and mutual respect, planting seeds of community ties that bolster their modest prosperity, lulling you into a dreamy reverie where fortune is not a distant peak, but a gentle hill climbed step by step without haste or competition, fostering an inner peace that resonates with the quiet joy of self-sufficiency, turning everyday routines into rituals of legacy building, inviting your thoughts to wander through visions of blooming orchards and overflowing baskets, all born from the humble soil of perseverance. As midday sun filters through the cottage windows, illuminating dust motes dancing like tiny stars in the air, scented with herbal infusions brewing on the hearth, the father pauses to count their savings, a modest pile of coins, perhaps a few pieces of jewelry handed down from elders, stored in a wooden chest carved with simple patterns symbolizing growth and protection, each item a testament to their growing fortune. Not vast, but sufficient to weather storms or seize small opportunities, like purchasing an adjacent plot of land where wildflowers nod in the wind. The mother teaches the children to mend clothes or craft items for sale, her voice soft and melodic like a lullaby, imparting wisdom on frugality and foresight, fostering a sense of serene empowerment where wealth accumulates like layers of sediment in a tranquil riverbed, dreamy in its gradual formation, ensuring that this modest fortune becomes a bridge to future generations, without the burden of debt or the temptation of excess. Just the peaceful harmony of living within means while dreaming of modest expansions, lulling you deeper into relaxation as the narrative flows onward, like a gentle current carrying fallen petals to distant shores. Envision the changing seasons mirroring the family's steady progress, autumn bringing bountiful harvests, leaves turning fiery hues as sacks of grain are stored away, their weight a comforting promise of winter's sustenance, the air crisp with the scent of fallen apples and smoky fires kindled for warmth, while spring renews the cycle with fresh plantings, rain pattering softly on the thatched roof like nature's applause for their efforts. In these rhythms, the modest fortune takes shape, perhaps allowing the purchase of a milk cow or a loom for weaving finer textiles, each acquisition a quiet milestone celebrated with simple feasts of homegrown vegetables and shared laughter. Around the table, fostering dreamy moments of reflection where the family contemplates how far they've come from those initial seeds, without prideful boasting, just humble acknowledgement that wealth, in its modest form, is a guardian of family bonds, inviting you to breathe deeply and release any tensions. As the story's gentle pace mirrors the unhurried growth of their legacy, turning potential into reality through patience and care, like a garden blooming under attentive hands. Feel the evening descending softly, stars emerging one by one in the velvet sky like scattered gems of possibility as the family gathers by the fireside, the crackle of logs harmonizing with tales of ancestors who started with even less, their modest fortunes built on similar foundations of hard work and saving. Scented with the woody aroma of burning pine and the faint sweetness of honeyed tea sipped from earthen mugs, each story a thread strengthening the tapestry of generational wealth. The father might share how a wise investment in better seeds doubled their yield, or how bartering skills turned surplus into savings, lulling the children and you, dear listener, into a state of tranquil inspiration, where fortune is seen as a companion rather than a master, dreamy and approachable, fostering a sense of inner calm that wealth's true value lies in its ability to provide stability and freedom, without the shadows of greed, just the light of prudent choices illuminating paths forward, ensuring that this modest accumulation becomes the cornerstone of legacies yet to unfold in peaceful, enduring grace. As night fully claims the village, moonlight bathing the fields in silvery glow, the family's modest fortune rests secure in their hearts and hidden caches, a beacon of hope for tomorrows filled with promise, the air cooled by breezes carrying hints of nocturnal blooms, inviting dreams where wealth grows like vines entwining family trees, lulling you into deeper slumber with visions of continuity and care, leading gently toward the passing of gold in tranquil succession. In this expanded reflection on the modest fortune, dear listener, let us linger a bit longer in the family's daily life, where each moment contributes to the slow building wealth, like droplets filling a rain, barrel over time, fostering a dreamy sense of fulfillment that comes from witnessing growth in its most organic form. Picture the father, his face lined with the wisdom of years, walking the fields at dawn, the mist swirling around his ankles like ethereal guardians as he inspects the crop stall stalks of corn rustling, softly their silken tassels shimmering in the light, each ear a promise of meals and markets ahead, the scent of dew-laden earth grounding him in the present while his mind wanders to future harvests. He might pause to mend a fence, his tools clinking gently against wooden posts, ensuring the land remains protected, a metaphor for how modest fortunes are safeguarded through vigilance and repair, lulling you into a state of relaxed awareness, where every small action echoes across generations. His hands, roughened by labor, yet tender in their precision, symbolize the bridge between effort and reward, turning soil into sustenance and surplus into savings, without the fanfare of grand announcements, just the quiet satisfaction of progress measured in bushels and coins. The mother, in the heart of the home, embodies the nurturing side of wealth building. Her day's a tapestry of tasks that weave economy into everyday life-needing dough for bread that rises golden and fragrant in the oven. Its warmth filling the cottage with an inviting aroma that blends with the herbal notes of chamomile, drying on racks overhead, each loaf not only feeding the family, but also sold for a few pennies that add to their growing cash. She teaches the art of preservation, pickling vegetables in brine, scented with dill and garlic, jars lined on shelves like sentinels of security, fostering a dreamy continuity where food becomes fortune, lulling the household into evenings of contentment, where the simple act of sharing a meal reinforces the bonds that make wealth meaningful. Dreamy in its humility, inviting you to imagine the textures and tastes that sustain both body and legacy, without excess, just the balanced harmony of provision and planning. The children, wide-eyed observers and eager participants, learn these lessons organically, their play intertwining with purpose gathering eggs from the henhouse, the soft clucks of birds a soothing backdrop, or helping to spin wool into yarn on a spinning wheel that hums rhythmically like a lullaby. Each thread a strand of future value, the air scented with the lanolin-rich fleece and fresh hay scattered on the floor. In these moments, fortune is demystified, shown as the result of collective effort, rather than luck, fostering a sense of serene empowerment that lulls them, and you into visions of inheritance, not as burden, but as gift dreamy and unpressured, ensuring that the modest fortune grows roots deep enough to support branches reaching far into the future, like a family tree whose leaves whisper stories of resilience in the winds of time. As the seasons cycle onward, winter's chill brings a time of quiet consolidation, snow blanketing the fields like a protective veil, the family huddled indoors by the fire, mending tools or planning for spring. The scent of wood smoke and stew simmering on the hearth, creating a cocoon of warmth, where conversations turn to expanding their modest holdings, perhaps trading for a piglet or investing in better seeds. Each decision weighed with care, lulling into reflective pauses where fortune is appreciated in its current form without yearning for more. Just the peaceful acceptance that growth comes in due time, inviting your mind to rest in this wintry tranquility, feeling the coziness seep into your bones as the narrative unfolds. Spring arrives with bursts of color and life, flowers blooming in meadows scented with lavender and honeysuckle. As the family plants anew, their modest fortune allowing for small risks like trying a new crop or repairing the cart for longer market trips, the earth yielding to their efforts with generous returns, fostering dreamy optimism that wealth builds upon itself like layers of a pearl, lulling you deeper into relaxation with images of green shoots piercing the soil, symbolizing renewal and the enduring cycle of legacy. Summer's heat brings abundance, sun-ripened fruits hanging heavy on trees, their juices sweet and tart, harvested with baskets that overflow, the air buzzing with bees, and the laughter of family working together, turning produce into preserves or trades that swell their savings. Each coin added a note in the symphony of modesty, dreamy in its melody, ensuring security without opulence. Autumn's harvest festivals celebrate these gains. Villages gathering under harvest moons, music and dance mingling with the scents of roasted nuts and spiced cider, the family sharing their bounty, strengthening community ties that indirectly bolster their fortune through alliances and shared knowledge, lulling into communal joy where wealth is a shared river flowing peacefully. Through these extended vignettes, dear listener, a modest fortune reveals its true nature, not a roaring fire, but a steady ember, warming generations with its glow, fostering a sense of profound peace as we approach the passing of gold in tranquil, dreamy succession. Chapter 4. The Passing of Gold. In the warm afterglow of the modest fortune's steady accumulation, where the family-s hearth glows with the quiet satisfaction of labors rewarded like a sunset painting the horizon in hues of amber and rose, dear listener, let us now glide gently into the sacred moment of transition, the passing of gold, where the father in his twilight years bestows the fruits of his toil upon his children, not as a grand ceremony, replete with fanfare or decrees, but as a serene handover of gold coins, fertile lands, and timeless wisdom, like a venerable oak, shedding its acorns to nourish the saplings below, fostering a dreamy continuity that weaves generational wealth into the very fabric of family bonds, ensuring legacy flows onward without interruption. Imagine the evening sun dipping low, casting long shadows across the fields, now ripe with harvest scented, with the ripe earthiness of turned soil and the faint sweetness of autumn fruits hanging heavy on branches. As the father gathers his kin around the old wooden table, his voice a soft murmur like a breeze through leaves sharing the treasures amassed, a pouch of gleaming gold deeds to the land, etched on weathered parchment, each item a vessel of memory and promise lulling you into a state of profound relaxation, where the act of passing wealth feels like the gentle handover of a cherished storybook from one generation to the next, much like how a river entrusts its waters to the sea in peaceful surrender, inviting your mind to drift along this tranquil rite of inheritance, where money's legacy is preserved in whispers rather than shouts, evoking a sense of eternal harmony that soothes the soul into restful repose. Dear listener, allow this pivotal passing to envelop you like the soft folds of a well-worn blanket, your breaths deepening in rhythm with the family's hushed gathering, as we envision the father, his hair silvered by years of sun and toil, seated at the head of the table in their cozy cottage, the air thick with the comforting aroma of stew, simmering on the hearth, and beeswax candles flickering with a warm, golden light that dances across faces etched with love and anticipation. With hands steady despite their age, he draws forth a small leather pouch, its surface worn smooth like river stones, and pours out the gold. Coins each one, a testament to countless market days, barters sealed under shady oaks, and harvests sold for fair prices, their metallic gleam catching the firelight like stars fallen to earth, clinking softly as they spill onto the table, a sound as soothing as rain on a tin roof. He speaks in measured tones, recounting how these coins were saved from the first seeds of wealth, hidden away during lean winters scented with wood smoke and herbal teas, invested wisely in tools or seeds that multiplied their yield, fostering a dreamy narrative where gold is not merely metal, but a living chronicle of perseverance, lulling his children into attentive silence as they absorb the weight of this inheritance, without the pressure of expectation. Just the peaceful assurance that this passing ensures their modest fortune endures, turning the moment into a bridge of gold, spanning from past efforts to future dreams, inviting you to feel the cool touch of the coins in your imagination, their edges rounded by time, symbolizing the smooth transition of legacy's gentle flow. Feel the rune's warmth seeping into your very core as the father continues unfolding the parchment deeds to the land-crisp sheets yellowed with age. Inscribed with elegant script detailing boundaries, marked by ancient hedgerows bursting with berries in summer and skeletal branches in winter the scent of aged paper mingling with the earthy tang of the soil outside, where these acres have been tilled and nurtured, yielding crops that fed the family and filled their coffers. He describes each parcel with reverence, pointing to the fertile plot by the stream, where willows dip their branches into clear waters murmuring softly, or the hillside meadow blanketed in wildflowers that buzz with bees in spring, each description a lullaby, evoking seasons past plowing under crisp, autumn skies scented with fallen leaves, or sowing in the misty dawns of spring, when dew jewels the furrows like scattered diamonds, fostering a sense of dreamy connection to the earth as the true gold, lulling the children into visions of their own hands, continuing the work without the burden of ownership's weight, just the serene joy of stewardship, passed like a torch in the night, ensuring that the land's bounty becomes an eternal thread in the tapestry of generational wealth. Inviting your thoughts to wander through these fields in reverie, feeling the soft grass underfoot and the sun's gentle kiss on your skin as the passing unfolds in unhurried grace. As the candles burn lower, casting elongated shadows that dance like gentle spirits on the walls, adorned with simple family heirlooms, carved wooden spoon from a grandmother, stowry, or a quilt stitched with patterns of vines, symbolizing growth, the father imparts wisdom alongside the tangible gifts, his voice a soothing cadence like a distant lullaby, advising on the virtues of thrift, the patience required to let gold multiply through careful investments, such as lending to neighbors for their own small ventures, repaid with interest in the form of shared harvests or crafted goods, scented with fresh wood shavings. He shares tales of how he once traded a portion of gold for a sturdy plow that eased their labors, or buried coins during uncertain times when storms raged outside, thunder rumbling like distant warnings, only to unearth them when skies cleared to blue serenity, fostering dreamy lessons where gold is a tool for resilience, lulling his offspring into reflective nods as they grasp the deeper value. Wealth as a guardian of family harmony, without greed's sharp edges, just the peaceful flow of resources from one hand to another, turning the passing into a ritual of love, where each coin and acre becomes a promise whispered in the quiet of the evening, evoking a sense of timeless security that relaxes your muscles and eases your mind into deeper tranquility. Envision the children's reactions, their eyes wide with a mix of awe and humility, as they touch the gold for the first time as heirs, fingers tracing the embossed designs, perhaps images of ancient symbols for prosperity, worn faint by handling over years of saving, the metal warm from the father's palm. carrying the subtle scent of leather and faint metallic tang that speaks of hidden caches beneath floorboards, creaking softly underfoot during nocturnal checks. The eldest son might receive a share of land near the orchard, where apple trees bloom in pink profusion each spring, their blossoms drifting like snow in gentle winds, promising fruits that can be sold or preserved in jars of honeyed sweetness for winter. The daughter, a portion of gold to fund her own ventures, perhaps weaving finer linens on a loom that hums rhythmically in the corner, threads dyed with natural hues from berries gathered in sun-dappled woods, fostering a dreamy equality in the passing, lulling them into aspirations of building upon this foundation, without rivalry, just harmonious collaboration that strengthens the family's legacy, inviting you to imagine the weight of responsibility lightened by love as the narrative flows onward like a calm river reflecting moonlight. The father, sensing the moment's profundity, leads them outside under the star-studded sky, where the night's cool air carries hints of nocturnal blooms and distant owl calls, to walk the land one last time together, feet padding softly on paths worn by generations, pointing out landmarks, a gnarled tree where he proposed to their mother under blooming branches scented with jasmine, or a stone wall built stone by stone during youthful vigor. Each element a story etched into the earth, fostering dreamy recollections that blend with the passing of gold, lulling the family into a collective reverie where wealth is intertwined with memories, without sentimentality's excess, just the serene acknowledgement that this handover is a cycle's completion, ensuring continuity as the stars wheel overhead like eternal witnesses. In this extended meditation on the passing, dear listener, let us linger on the emotional undercurrents, the father's eyes misting, with quiet pride as he watches his children accept their inheritances, not as entitlements, but as trusts to nurture, much like tending a garden through droughts and floods, scented with rain-soaked earth and resilient herbs that thrive regardless. He might share a final anecdote of his own father's passing, a similar gathering by a fireside long ago, the gold then scarcer but no less meaningful, clinking in a smaller pouch under lamplight, flickering like hope itself, fostering a chain of dreamy narratives that link ancestors to descendants, lulling you into a profound sense of interconnectedness where time folds gently upon itself, inviting relaxation as you visualize the gold's journey, from hidden jars to open hands, from one life to many. As the night deepens, the family returns indoors, the father sealing the deeds with a wax stamp that hisses softly against the parchment, its emblem a simple crest of intertwined vines representing growth and unity. The air now scented with melted wax and lingering stew, each child tucking away their share with care, the gold in secure boxes lined with soft cloth, the land's promise and hearts swelling with purpose, fostering a sense of serene completion where the passing of gold becomes a lullaby of legacy, dreamy and unbroken. Through these layered vignettes, the act transcends the material, becoming a spiritual transference where gold shines not for its luster, but for the light it casts on family paths ahead, lulling into visions of futures built on solid ground without uncertainty's shadows, just the peaceful glow of inheritance's embrace. As dawn's first light hints on the horizon, painting the sky in pastel whispers, The passing concludes with embraces that convey more than words. The family's modest fortune, now divided yet multiplied in spirit, leading gently toward the wisdom of mothers in tranquil succession. Chapter 5. The Wisdom of Mothers. In the lingering warmth of the passing of gold, where the family's embraces echo like soft echoes in a sunlit valley, sealing the transition from one generation to the next with unspoken promises and the faint, metallic scent of coins tucked safely away, dear listener. Let us now turn our dreamy gaze to the nurturing heart of legacy, the wisdom of mothers, those quiet architects of generational wealth who, through intuitive care and steadfast management of home and hearth, preserve and multiply the family's fortunes, not with bold ventures or public proclamations, but with the gentle art of stewardship, like a steady flame that warms without consuming, fostering a serene balance where money becomes a thread woven seamlessly into the fabric of daily life and enduring bonds. Imagine the morning light filtering through cottage windows, casting a soft, golden haze over a kitchen alive with the aromas of simmering herbs and fresh-baked bread, as the mother, with her knowing eyes and hands shaped by years of tending, orchestrates the household's rhythms, budgeting the inherited gold for necessities, teaching thrift through mended garments and preserved harvests, each action a whisper of wisdom that lulls the family into security, much like how a tranquil garden blooms under attentive care, inviting you to sink deeper into relaxation as we explore this matriarchal grace, where wealth is safeguarded, not in vaults, but in the quiet strength of maternal insight, evoking a peaceful harmony that soothes the spirit and eases the mind into restful contemplation. Dear listener, allow the essence of this wisdom to wrap around you like a soft shawl scented with lavender from sun-dried linens, your breath slowing to match the unhurried pace of a mother's day, as we envision her in the heart of the home, rising with the dawn to stir the embers of the previous night's fire, the air filling with the comforting crackle of kindling and the subtle fragrance of wood smoke mingling with chamomile tea steeping in an earthen pot. Her first task to assess the family's stores, a pantry lined with jars of pickled vegetables glowing like jewels in the early light, each one a testament to her foresight in turning summer's bounty into winter's sustenance, saving coins that might otherwise be spent on markets during lean months. With deft hands, she portions out the gold inherited from the passing, allocating a few coins for seeds to plant in the spring fields where wildflowers nod in gentle breezes, or for thread to weave cloth on the loom that hums rhythmically in the corner, its wooden frame worn smooth by generations of fingers, fostering a dreamy continuity where money is not hoarded but invested in the home's vitality, lulling her children into lessons of economy as they watch her mend a torn blanket with precise stitches, each loop a story of resilience, without the sternness of lectures, just the peaceful demonstration that wisdom preserves wealth like a riverbank guiding, waters through seasons of flood and drought, inviting you to feel the texture of the fabric in your mind, soft and enduring, symbolizing how maternal care turns modest fortunes into lasting legacies. Feel the home's nurturing embrace, drawing you inward as the mother's wisdom extends beyond the kitchen to the broader rhythms of family life, her voice a soothing melody like a distant lullaby as she gathers the children around the table for breakfast serving, porridge sweetened with honey from beehives. She tends in the garden the golden drips, glistening like liquid treasure scented with wildflowers that buzz with industrious bees under sunny skies. Here, she imparts knowledge subtly explaining how a portion of the gold can be lent to a neighbor for their crop expansion, repaid with interest in wool or milk, her calculations done on a slate with chalk marks that fade like morning mist, fostering a sense of serene empowerment where women become the unseen bankers of the household, lulling the young ones into understanding that wealth grows through relationships as much as through labor, without the complexity of formal ledgers, just the intuitive balance of giving and receiving, turning everyday conversations into dreamy tutorials on legacy, where the scent of fresh milk poured into bowls evokes abundance born from prudent choices, inviting your thoughts to wander through visions of sunlit gardens where herbs like rosemary and thyme release their aromatic oils under gentle footsteps, each plant a small investment yielding remedies and flavors that save on healer visits or spice trades, ensuring the family's health and wealth intertwine in harmonious flow. As the day unfolds, envision the mother venturing to the village market, a basket slung over her arm, woven from reeds she harvested by the stream side, where willows sway softly, their leaves rustling like whispers of ancestral advice. The path lined with hedgerows bursting with berries that she picks for jams, their tart sweetness a free gift from nature that she transforms into sellable goods, scented with cinnamon sticks bartered wisely from traveling merchants. At the market under canopies of ancient oaks, whose acorns scatter like hidden coins on the ground, she haggles, gently but firmly for fabrics or tools, using the inherited gold sparingly, her keen eye spotting value in a bolt of all linen that can be sewn into garments for the family or traded for profit, fostering dreamy negotiations where wisdom turns small transactions into multipliers of wealth, lulling vendors into fair deals with her calm demeanor and warm smiles without aggression's edge, just the peaceful art of persuasion, honed by years of managing home economies, inviting you to imagine the bustling yet tranquil stalls, alive with the sense of fresh produce and baked goods, where her presence is a steadying force, ensuring that every coin spent returns tenfold in utility or savings, turning the marketplace into an extension of her household's prudent domain, evoking a sense of inner calm as you drift along this narrative of subtle mastery. In quieter moments, as afternoon sun filters through lace curtains, casting intricate patterns on the wooden floor like embroidered maps of family journeys, the mother sits with her daughters, teaching them to embroider or knit, needles clicking softly like rhythmic heartbeats, threads of various hues crimson from berry dyes, gold from saffron blooms creating patterns that symbolize growth and protection, each stitch a lesson in patience, where she shares stories of her own mother, who once hid gold during times of unrest, burying it under the hearthstone with a prayer whispered in the dim light of a single candle, its flame flickering like hope itself, scented with melting tallow. These tales foster a dreamy lineage of feminine wisdom, lulling the girls into aspiring to similar guardianship without the weight of obligation, just the serene joy of continuity, where wealth is preserved through hidden knowledge and quiet rituals, inviting you to feel the warmth of the yarn in your hands, soft and resilient, mirroring how mothers weave security into the family's very being, ensuring that generational fortunes endure through eras of change like a steadfast vine climbing a trellis through gentle winds and rains. Extend this reverie into evening, when the mother prepares supper, chopping vegetables from the garden with a knife honed sharp on a whetstone, the rhythmic sounds blending with the crackle of the fire, where a pot bubbles with stew, infused with garlic and bay leaves, their savory aromas filling the air and drawing the family together. Over the meal, she discusses the day's expenditures, her voice calm as a still pond, explaining how saving on one item allowed for investment in another, a new hen for eggs, or fabric for dresses that can be worn or sold, fostering discussions that lull the household into collective wisdom, without hierarchy, just harmonious sharing that strengthens bonds and multiplies resources. Dreamy in their intimacy, inviting relaxation as you envision the table laden with simple fare, candlelight reflecting off polished wooden surfaces, each bite a nourishment of body and legacy alike. Through extended vignettes of seasonal tasks, canning fruits in autumn as crisp air, scented with fallen leaves and ripening apples, or budgeting for winter wool in the chill of approaching frosts, where she knits blankets by firelight, the glow illuminating her focused expression. The mother's role reveals its depth, turning home management into an art form where wealth accumulates like layers of a quilt, warm and protective, lulling generations into security. In spring's renewal, she plants herbs that heal and flavor, their green shoots emerging like promises of prosperity, teaching sons and daughters alike the value of diversification, where a small plot yields not just food but tradable goods, fostering dreamy foresight that ensures resilience. Summer's heat finds her preserving jams under sun-drenched eaves, jars sealing with pops like satisfied sighs, each one a vessel of saved gold, scented with strawberries and sugar, lulling into visions of abundance stored for leaner times. Autumn harvests see her directing the storage of grains in cool cellars, the earthy scent grounding the family's efforts, her wisdom partitioning shares for consumption, sale, and seed, ensuring cycles continue unbroken. Winter's hush brings introspection, mending by lamplight, stories shared of matriarchs past who navigated hardships with grace, their legacies living in every saved coin and managed resource, dreamy and eternal. These layers of wisdom, dear listener, illuminate how mothers anchor generational wealth in the quietude of home, their gentle guidance a lullaby of preservation, leading us toward the expansion in tranquil progression. Chapter 6. The Expansion. In the nurturing afterglow of the mother's timeless wisdom, where the home's hearth continues to glow with the quiet embers of prudent management and familial harmony, like a steadfast beacon guiding ships through misty waters, dear listener, let us now drift seamlessly into the blossoming phase of growth, the expansion, where the second generation, armed with inherited gold and lands, ventures forth to invest with careful ambition, not in reckless gambles or towering empires, but in modest expansions such as building small shops or organizing trade caravans that weave through sun-kissed valleys, fostering a dreamy proliferation of wealth that unfolds like a flower, opening its petals to the dawn, ensuring generational fortunes multiply through steady, harmonious steps. Imagine the crisp air of a new morning, scented with the fresh bloom of wildflowers, dotting the inherited fields, and the subtle tang of dew on verdant leaves, as the children, now grown into young adults, with eyes brightened by their parents' teachings, gather around the family table to plan their first ventures, voices soft and collaborative, like a gentle brook murmuring over smooth stones, discussing how to transform a portion of the gold into a roadside shop stocked with homegrown produce or a caravan laden with woven goods for distant markets. Each idea a whisper of potential that lulls you into a state of serene anticipation, much like how a seedling stretches toward the sun without haste, inviting your mind to wander through this tranquil narrative of growth, where expansion feels like the natural unfurling of legacy's wings, evoking a peaceful sense of progress that soothes the soul and eases tensions into restful repose. Dear listener, surrender to the gentle tide of this expansion, your breaths aligning with the rhythmic pulse of budding enterprises. As we envision the eldest son, his hands now as capable as his father's once were, standing on the inherited land where golden wheat sways softly in the breeze like waves of prosperity, deciding to allocate some of the past gold to construct a modest shop at the village crossroads, its wooden frame rising from the earth, with the help of neighbors bartering labor for future goods, the air alive with the scent of freshly sawn timber pine resin mingling with the earthy aroma of upturned soil as beams are hoisted into place, under skies painted in soft blues and whites, each nail hammered with deliberate care, echoing like distant drumbeats in a lullaby. Inside, shelves are lined with jars of preserves from the mother's recipes, their glass surfaces glistening like captured sunlight, filled with jams, scented with ripe berries and honey that evoke summers past, or bundles of herbs dried in bunches hanging from rafters, releasing notes of lavender and mint with every brush of a hand, fostering a dreamy marketplace where customers linger in the cozy space, exchanging coins for these treasures, lulling the sun into a routine of early morning stocking shells as dawn's light filters through small windows, casting warm patterns on the flagstone floor without the rush of competition, just the peaceful flow of trade that turns inherited wealth into a living stream, inviting you to imagine the soft clink of coins in a wooden till, each one a note in the symphony of expansion, symbolizing how modest investments bloom into sustained abundance, turning the shop into a cornerstone of the family's evolving legacy, where expansion is as natural as the seasons turn. Feel the sun's gentle caress warming your skin in this visionary scene as the daughter, inspired by maternal wisdom, channels her share of the gold into organizing a small trade, caravan gathering a few sturdy carts, pulled by oxen whose hooves clip-clop rhythmically on dirt paths lined with blooming hedgerows, the vehicles loaded with woven blankets and crafted pottery from home kilns, their surfaces glazed with earthy tones that catch the light like polished stones, scented with the faint clay residue and wildflower essences infused during creation. She plans routes through neighboring villages, mapping them on parchment by candlelight in the evenings that waxes subtle, honeyed aroma blending with the ink's sharp tang, her fingers tracing lines that connect markets like threads, in a tapestry fostering dreamy journeys where the caravan departs at first light, wheels creaking, softly like a comforting cradle song, traversing rolling hills where birdsong harmonizes with the lowing of beasts, stops made at roadside inns for rest, the air perfumed with stewing meats and fresh bread shared among travelers. Each exchange at destination fairs, bartering textiles for spices or tools multiplying the gold through fair trades, sealed with handshakes and smiles, lulling her into reflective pauses under starry nights, camped by streams murmuring lullabies, without the perils of distant horizons, just the serene adventure of expansion that weaves new networks into the family's wealth, inviting your thoughts to meander along these paths, feeling the cart's gentle sway and the breeze carrying hints of distant orchards, ensuring that generational fortunes expand like roots delving deeper into fertile soil, evoking a profound sense of interconnected progress. As the expansion takes root, envision the family's collective efforts intertwining, the shop serving as a hub where caravan goods are displayed upon return, shelves replenished with exotic fine silks from afar, shimmering like captured rainbows, or spices in pouches, exuding aromas of cinnamon and clove that transport one to sun-drenched groves drawing villagers who barter or pay with coins that swell the family as coffers the air inside, buzzing faintly with conversations like bees in a hive. Each transaction a gentle ripple in the pond of prosperity. The second generation learns through trial and soft error, perhaps a caravan delayed by spring rains, pattering on canvas covers, turning muddy roads into contemplative halts where stories are shared around campfires, crackling with wood scented of oak and pine, fostering wisdom that refines their psyche. Approaches lulling them into adaptive strategies like investing in better wheels or forging alliances with other traders met under market canopies without setbacks drama, just the peaceful evolution of expansion that builds resilience, turning potential losses into lessons embroidered into the legacy's fabric, inviting you to drift into relaxation with images of rain-washed landscapes blooming anew, where wealth grows not despite challenges, but through them in harmonious balance. Extend this reverie through seasonal cycles, spring bringing fresh opportunities as the shop expands with outdoor stalls shaded by blooming cherry trees, petals drifting like soft confetti on displays of seedlings and tools, the scent of moist earth and floral nectar inviting early buyers, while caravans venture farther with lighter loads of perishable goods, fostering dreamy growth where profits fund minor improvements. A new sign carved with family motifs, its wood varnished to a shine that reflects sunlight like gold itself. Summer's heat sees bustling activity. Shop doors open wide to breezes carrying river mists. Customers sipping herbal infusions offered gratis. Their coolness, a respite scented with lemon balm, while caravans traverse sunlit paths lined with ripening fields, trades yielding bountiful returns in fabrics and metals that clink softly in storage chests, lulling into evenings of accounting by lantern, light quills scratching on ledgers with the soft sound of progress. Autumn's harvest enriches the expansion, shop shelves groaning under weights of pumpkins and grains, their earthy scents mingling with cider pressed from orchard fruits, caravans returning laden with wool for winter weaving, fostering a sense of abundant closure as gold accumulates like fallen leaves in piles, dreamy in its plenty, ensuring preparations for colder months. Winter's hush allows reflection, shop warmed by a potbelly stove crackling with logs, the air thick with roasted chestnuts and storytelling, while caravan plans are drawn in cozy confines, fostering innovation like partnering with artisans for unique goods, lulling into visionary dreams of further reach. Through these layered expansions, the second generation transforms inheritance into dynamic flow, building shops that stand as sentinels of trade and caravans that bridge communities, each step a gentle stride in wealth's journey, evoking serene fulfillment. In quiet moments, family gatherings celebrate these strides, sharing meals where laughter mingles with the aroma of baked pies, reflecting on how expansion honors the first seeds in maternal wisdom without pride's fanfare, just humble gratitude that lulls into contentment. As ventures flourish, investments diversify perhaps. A small mill by the stream, its wheel turning with water's murmur, grinding grain into flour, sold at the shop scented with fresh, milling dust or additional carts for the caravan, painted in familial hues that gleam under sun, fostering exponential yet peaceful growth. These expansions, dear listener, paint a canvas of generational wealth in soft strokes, their gentle unfolding a lullaby of progress, guiding us toward the homes of legacy and tranquil embrace. Chapter 7. The Homes of Legacy. In the vibrant buzz of this growing community, where shops thrive and caravans roll in with treasures from afar, let's dive into the heart of this progress. The homes of legacy. These aren't just fancy mansions or cold, lonely castles. Nope, they're cozy spaces built with love and intention, representing hard-earned wealth in every brick and beam. They're places where families come together, sharing stories and creating memories, much like sturdy trees that provide shelter for nests through the seasons. It's all about nurturing connections and celebrating life, right? Imagine the golden afternoon sun bathing a sprawling estate, its walls rising from the very lands once tilled by ancestral hands, scented with the earthy richness of blooming orchards and the faint, comforting aroma of wood smoke curling from chimneys. As the second generation, now matured and wise from their ventures, invests portions of their expanded gold into constructing these homes, expansive yet inviting, with rooms that echo with laughter and halls that whisper stories of legacy. Each brick laid a testament to continuity, lulling you into a state of profound serenity, where the home becomes more than shelter, but a living archive of wealth's quiet evolution, much like how a river carves a valley over time without clamor, inviting your mind to wander through sunlit corridors and shaded gardens, evoking a peaceful sense of belonging that eases the spirit into restful harmony. Dear listener, allow the embrace of these legacy homes to enfold you like a quilt stitched from memories, your breaths deepening in sync with the tranquil rhythms of family life within. As we envision the eldest son, standing on a hillock overlooking the inherited fields where wheat sways like golden waves under breezes, scented with wild thyme and ripening apples, deciding to channel caravan profits into building a larger dwelling, a sturdy manor with foundations dug deep into the soil, workers hauling stones from nearby quarries, Their surface is rough, yet promising under hands that shape them into walls, rising steadily, the air alive with the metallic clink of chisels and the fresh scent of mortar. Mixed with river sand, each layer a metaphorical deposit in the bank of legacy. The structure takes form over months. Timber beams hewn from family woods creaking softly as they're fitted. Roofed with tiles baked in kilns fueled by the shop's surplus. Their terracotta hue glowing warm in the sunlight like baked earth after rain. Fostering a dreamy construction where every element, from the wide oak door carved with motifs of vines symbolizing growth to windows, framed in lated glass that capture light like prisms, reflects the wealth's journey from modest seeds to expansive roots, lulling the family into anticipatory evenings around campfires near the site, sharing tales of how this home will house not just bodies, but the soul of their heritage without the haste of urgency, just the peaceful unfolding of a sanctuary that turns gold into enduring walls, inviting you to feel the cool stone under your fingertips, smooth from polish, symbolizing stability woven from generational prudence, turning the home into a beacon where legacy resides in every hearth and beam. Feel the home's welcoming aura drawing you deeper as the daughter contributes her trade earnings to adorn the interior, commissioning furnishings from local artisans whose workshops buzz with the scent of beeswax polish and freshly planed wood, crafting tables of walnut that gleam with a deep, lustrous finish, chairs upholstered in fabrics she bartered for on caravans, their threads soft and patterned with subtle florals evoking the gardens outside. The great hall, with its high ceilings echoing faintly like a whispered lullaby, becomes a gathering place where tapestries woven from shop-sold yarns depict scenes of family history plowing, fields under spring skies dotted with blossoms, or market days under shady oaks with leaves rustling like pages of an open book, each stitch a narrative thread, fostering dreamy reflections during family suppers or candles in iron holders. Cast flickering glows on silverware, inherited from the passing of gold, their metallic sheen a reminder of origins, lulling gatherings into harmonious conversations about further expansions. Without discord, just the serene blending of voices like a choir in soft harmony, inviting your imagination to sit at that table, savoring the aroma of roasted meats seasoned with caravan spices, cinnamon, and nutmeg wafting gently, ensuring the home nurtures not only wealth, but the intangible riches of kinship, evoking a profound sense of timeless comfort as legacies are shared over meals that bridge past and future. As the home settles into its role, envision the gardens surrounding it, transformed from simple plots into expansive landscapes where wealth manifests in blooming abundance, paths lined with rose bushes releasing petals that drift like soft confetti in summer, breezes scented with their velvety perfume, or herb beds, tended with maternal wisdom yielding remedies and flavors that save on external purchases, each plant a living investment. Orchards extend from the original lands, apple trees heavy with fruit, whose crisp snaps echo in harvest times, their juices pressed into ciders stored in cellars cool and earthen scented, fostering dreamy strolls where family members walk arm in arm, discussing how the home's pantries, stocked with preserves in jars, sealing with satisfying pops, symbolize security, lulling into reflective pauses by a pond, reflecting starry skies at night, its surface rippling softly with fish gliding like submerged treasures. Without the isolation of grandeur, just the peaceful integration of nature and nurture, turning the estate into a self-sustaining haven where generational wealth blooms eternally, inviting you to breathe in the floral airs, feeling petals brush your skin in reverie as the narrative flows through verdant expanses that mirror the family's inner growth. Extend this vision through the home's inner chambers, bedrooms with canopied beds draped in linens spun from home looms, their fabrics soft against skin like whispered secrets, pillows stuffed with down from family geese, whose honks punctuate dawn's quiet, fostering restful slumbers where dreams of legacy unfold. The library, shelves bowed under volumes acquired through trade's leather-bound tomes, scented with aged paper and ink, chronicling histories of commerce and wisdom, becomes a sanctuary for quiet study. Fireplaces crackling with logs from the state woods, their warmth lulling readers into contemplative hours, ensuring knowledge compounds wealth like interest on gold. Kitchens, heart of the home, bustle gently with copper pots, simmering stews infused with garden herbs. The air thick with baking bread's yeasty embrace, mothers and daughters preserving legacies in recipes passed down. Each meal a ritual of continuity, dreamy in its familiarity. Guest rooms welcome extended kin or trade partners, beds made with quilts embroidered over winters, fostering alliances that expand networks, lulling visitors into tailies, shared by candlelight flickering on walls, painted in soothing hues. Seasonal rhythms animate the homespring awakenings, with windows flung open to breezes, carrying pollen and birdsong. Halls filled with vases of fresh blooms scenting the air with lilac and hyacinth. Family planning garden expansions that yield more for markets. Summer's languor sees shaded verandas where lemonade chilled in wells is sipped. Its citrus tang refreshing discussions of investments. Dreamy afternoons blending leisure with legacy building. Autumn harvests fill larders with nuts and grains, their nutty aromas mingling with cider presses creaking rhythmically, fostering feasts that celebrate abundance without excess. Winter's coziness draws all to hearths, stories spun like yarn on wheels humming softly, scented with pine boughs and mulled wine, lulling into introspective warmth where plans for spring germinate. Through these layered depictions, the homes of legacy emerge as more than structures. They are vessels of enduring wealth, their every corner a gentle echo of familial journeys, evoking serene pride in roots deepened over time. In quiet evenings, the family reflects on how these abodes honor the first seeds, their walls whispering gratitude, fostering a sense of completion yet openness to what lies ahead, without finality, just harmonious dwelling. As legacies inhabit these spaces, children play in halls once dreamed of, their laughter a promise of continuation, turning homes into living testaments of wealth's gentle arc. These sanctuaries, dear listener, cradle the essence of generational fortunes and velvety peace. Their stable embrace a lullaby of permanence, guiding us toward the challenges of time in tranquil unfolding. Chapter 8. The Challenges of Time. In the steadfast embrace of the homes of legacy, where walls stand as silent guardians woven from the threads of accumulated wisdom and enduring prosperity, sheltering families like ancient groves cradling nests through whispering winds. Dear listener, let us now soften our steps into the inevitable trials that mark the passage of eras, the challenges of time, those quiet tempests of economic upheavals, distant wars, or natural tumults that test the resilience of generational wealth, not through shattering cataclysms or heroic battles, but through the gentle fortitude of families who endure by drawing upon hidden reserves, prudent adaptations, and unbreakable bonds, fostering a dreamy perseverance where crises become mere seasons in the grand garden of legacy, like autumn leaves falling to nourish the soil for spring's renewal. Imagine a twilight sky heavy with gathering clouds, scented with the damp earthiness of impending rain, and the faint, comforting warmth of hearth fires, kindled early as the family within their expansive home senses the stirrings of hardship, an economic downturn whispering through village markets, like a chill breeze rustling dry leaves or echoes of far-off conflicts carried on travelers' tailies. Yet they respond not with panic, but with serene resolve, gathering around the great hall's table to recount ancestral strategies, each word a soothing balm that lulls you into a state of tranquil reflection, much like how a steady river navigates boulders without losing its peaceful flow, inviting your mind to drift through these veiled challenges, where wealth's true strength reveals itself in quiet endurance rather than flashy triumphs, evoking a profound sense of continuity that eases worries into restful repose, turning time's trials into bridges of deeper wisdom. Dear listener, allow the subtle shadows of these challenges to envelop you like a soft mist rising from a meadow at dawn, your breath slowing to match the measured calm of the family's response. As we envision an economic crisis sweeping through the land like a persistent fog, markets slowing to a hush where once bustling, stalls stand half empty under overcast skies, the air scented with unsold produce beginning to wilt, apples softening with a sweet, overripe tang, and grains dampened by unrelenting drizzle. Yet the family, fortified by maternal teachings and the home's ample stores, dips into cellars lined with jars of preserved fruits, glowing faintly in the dim light, their seals intact from wiser seasons, fostering a dreamy self-sufficiency where gold hidden in secret compartments beneath floorboards, cool and metallic to the touch, remains untouched for, bartering only when necessary, lulling them into routines of rationing with grace, baking bread from stored flour, whose yeasty aroma fills the kitchen like a warm embrace, without the sting of deprivation, just the peaceful adaptation that turns scarcity into a lesson in value, inviting you to feel the weight of a single coin spared thoughtfully, its surface worn smooth like a worry stone, symbolizing how generational wealth weathers downturns by bending like reeds in the wind, ensuring the legacy's roots delve deeper into the soil of resilience, turning the home into a cocoon where evenings by the fireside, crackling softly with logs scented of pine resin, become havens for sharing stories of past hardships overcome, each tale a lullaby, weaving hope into the fabric of time. Picture this, a wild storm rolling in, right? The winds start off soft, almost like a lullaby, but soon they pick up, howling through the trees. Rain dances on the rooftops, flooding fields where golden wheat used to stand tall. You could almost smell that fresh, earthy scent after the rain, mixed with the aroma of uprooted herbs. But here's the thing: this family's home, sitting pretty on a hill, is ready for anything. They've got deep, solid foundations, and you can see the moms boarding up windows with fresh-cut wood while the kids help move the livestock to higher ground. The barns are alive with the sounds of gentle moos and the soothing rhythm of rain. It's all about turning a scary situation into a calm preparation, creating a cozy vibe where sturdy walls shield them from the storm. How comforting is that? You can almost taste the cured meats hanging in cool corners, their rich aroma mixing with herbs drying overhead. It's all about quiet generosity that keeps the community close, bringing neighbors together to share meals and whisper plans without the grip of fear. Inside, the walls stand strong, protecting against the night's chill, while candles flicker softly, casting a warm glow on maps showing safe trade routes away from conflict. Caravans are rerouted through peaceful spots where wildflowers sway in gentle breezes. The family adapts, tucking away more gold in hidden vaults lined with velvet to keep it quiet. They turn potential losses into safe gains, creating a sense of timeless security as life's challenges polish their legacy like a river smooths stones over time. Picture this: a wild storm rolling in, right? The winds start off soft, almost like a lullaby, but soon they pick up, howling through the trees. Rain dances on the rooftops, flooding fields where golden wheat used to stand tall. You can almost smell that fresh, earthy scent after the rain, mixed with the aroma of uprooted herbs. But here's the thing: this family's home, sitting pretty on a hill, is ready for anything. They've got deep, solid foundations, and you can see the moms boarding up windows with fresh-cut wood while the kids help move the livestock to higher ground. The barns are alive with the sounds of gentle moos and the soothing rhythm of rain. It's all about turning a scary situation into a calm preparation, creating a cozy vibe where sturdy walls shield them from the storm. How comforting is that? Extend this reverie through seasonal trials. Spring floods swelling streams into murmuring torrents that lap at garden edges, their waters cool and silt-laden, scented with muddy freshness. Yet drainage systems dug from expansion's investments channel flows away, fostering renewal where sodden soil dries under returning suns. Family replanting with saved seeds in furrows soft and yielding, lulling into optimistic labors where each sprout emerging green and tender symbolizes resilience's quiet victory. Summer droughts parch the earth, cracking soil like ancient pottery under relentless heat, the air dry and scented with wilting leaves. But irrigation from estate wells, water drawn cool from depths, sustains orchards whose fruits ripen despite scarcity. Dreamy evenings spent mending pipes with tools from shop stores, ensuring bounty persists in shaded groves where leaves rustle faintly like whispered assurances. Autumn gales strip branches bare, scattering leaves in whirlwinds scented with decaying foliage. Yet reinforced roofs hold, fostering harvest salvages where families gather fallen nuts under crisp skies, turning potential ruin into stockpiled provisions roasted over hearths, lulling into communal feasts that fortify spirits. Winter famines bite with frosty teeth, snow blanketing lands in silent white, the chill air crisp with frozen herbs, but larders brim with preserved goods from maternal foresight. Jars opened with steam rising warmly scented of spiced stews, ensuring warmth and sustenance in cozy halls where stories thaw worries like melting ice. Through these layered vignettes, the challenges of time reveal themselves as gentle sculptors, shaping legacies with care rather than force. Families emerging stronger, their wealth refined like gold in a crucible, dreamy in its transformation, evoking serene gratitude for endurance's gifts. In quiet reflections during lulls, elders recount how ancestors navigated similar epics, their voices soft as falling snow, fostering a chain of wisdom that lulls descendants into confident continuity without despair, just harmonious adaptation. As trials wane, homes stand resolute, their halls echoing with relieved laughter, turning hardships into tailies embroidered into tapestries, ensuring wealth's flow remains unbroken. These challenges, dear listener, temper the generational arc with velvety grace, their passage a lullaby of fortitude, guiding us toward the silent agreements in tranquil harmony. Chapter 9. The Silent Agreements. In the resilient afterglow of time's tempered challenges, where the homes of legacy stand unbowed like ancient oaks whose roots have withstood countless storms, their branches whispering tales of endurance in the gentle rustle of leaves. Dear listener, let us now slip softly into the unspoken pacts that bind generations, the silent agreements. Those invisible threads of understanding, alliances through marriage, and familial accords, woven without fanfare or written decrees, fostering the seamless preservation and augmentation of wealth through harmonious unions and shared visions, not as rigid contracts etched in ink or proclaimed in halls, but as dreamy intuitions passed like heirloom whispers from one heart to another, ensuring legacy flows onward like a tranquil stream, merging with tributaries in peaceful confluence. Imagine a moonlit garden within the estate grounds, scented with the nocturnal bloom of jasmine vines climbing stone walls, and the faint earthy dampness of evening dew settling on manicured lawns. As family members gather in hushed circles under starry skies, twinkling like scattered jewels, exchanging nods and knowing glances that seal bonds, perhaps a betrothal to a neighboring clan's heir, aligning lands and fortunes without the clamor of negotiations, each silent accord a lullaby that deepens the family's tapestry, much like how roots entwine underground to strengthen a forest's quiet might, inviting your mind to drift through these veiled understandings, where wealth's continuity is nurtured in the soft glow of mutual trust, evoking a serene sense of unity that eases the soul into restful harmony, turning agreements into bridges of enduring affection. Dear listener, allow these silent agreements to enfold you like the velvety petals of a night-blooming flower, your breaths aligning with the subdued rhythm of familial deliberations. As we envision a quiet evening in the great hall of the legacy home, candles flickering with a warm amber light that dances on polished oak tables scarred faintly from generations of use, the air scented with beeswax and the subtle spice of mulled wine simmering in a copper pot on the hearth, with the eldest daughter, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of mothers past, meets the gaze of a suitor from a kindred family, his lineage rich in trade routes that complement the caravans, their unspoken pact forming as hands clasp gently over a shared chalice, fostering a dreamy alliance where dowries of gold coins, clinking softly in embroidered pouches, scented with lavender sachets tucked within, merge fortunes without greed's shadow, lulling both families into celebratory toasts whispered like secrets, without the formality of parchments, just the peaceful merging of paths that turns individual streams into a broader river of prosperity, inviting you to feel the warmth of the chalice in your grasp, its metal smooth and reassuring, symbolizing how silent agreements weave marital bonds into the fabric of generational wealth, ensuring estates expand through unified holdings. Like vines intertwining to bear heavier fruits in sun-dappled orchards where bees hum a harmonious melody, turning unions into sanctuaries of shared legacy. Feel the garden's nocturnal embrace drawing you deeper as these agreements extend to sibling pacts. Within the family, brothers and sisters convening in a shaded arbor where honeysuckle blooms, release their sweet, heady perfume into the cooling air of dusk, vines draping like natural curtains that muffle their soft voices discussing the division of shop profits or caravan routes, each not in accord to support one another's ventures. Perhaps one sibling managing the mill by the string, its wheel turning with a rhythmic splash, scented with fresh water and ground flower dust, while another oversees garden expansions, yielding herbs for trade, fostering dreamy collaborations where wealth is pooled without rivalry, lulling them into evenings of joint planning by lantern light, casting golden pools on maps unfurled across grass soft underfoot, without spoken vows, just the serene intuition of blood ties that fortifies the legacy against fractures, inviting your thoughts to meander through the arbor's archways, feeling the petals brush your skin like gentle affirmations, as families reinforce their homes through these invisible bonds, evoking a profound sense of interconnected serenity, where silent agreements act as the glue binding gold to goodwill, turning potential discords into harmonious symphonies of continuity. As dawn's first light filters through mist-shrouded windows of the veil, Legacy Home envision elder kin, mentoring the young in these arts of quiet accord, a grandmother seated on a cushioned bench in the library, shelves lined with leather-bound volumes exhaling the age scent of paper and ink, her voice a soothing murmur like a distant brook as she recounts tales of past alliances, how a marriage long ago united feuding plots into a single fertile valley blooming with wildflowers in spring, their colors vivid against green expanses, or how siblings once pooled hidden gold during lean times, burying it under a venerable oak whose leaves rustle eternally like pages turning in a storybook, fostering dreamy lessons where the young learn to sense unspoken needs, lulling them into intuitive gestures like sharing a portion of harvest with a struggling cousin, baskets overflowing with fruits scented of ripe peaches and berries, without expectation of repayment, just the peaceful reciprocity that multiplies fortunes to strengthened networks, inviting you to imagine the library's cozy confines, feeling the book's weight in your lap, as these narratives embed silent agreements into the family's ethos, ensuring wealth endures not as isolated hoards, but as communal flows, like rivers nourished by hidden springs. Extend this reverie into communal gatherings, village festivals under harvest moons where bonfires crackle with logs scented of applewood, casting sparks like fleeting stars into the night sky. Families from allied clans mingling in dances whose steps echo softly on packed earth. Silent agreements forming in shared glances, perhaps a nod to merge trade. Caravans for safer journeys through wooded paths lined with ferns unfurling in dewy mornings. Or an embrace sealing a betrothal that aligns orchards for joint harvests. Fruits plucked under suns, warming the air with juicy sweetness, fostering dreamy unions that expand legacies without conquest, lulling participants into nights of storytelling around the flames, voices blending like harmonious chords, ensuring bonds woven in silence prove stronger than any written pact, inviting relaxation as you envision the fire's warmth on your face, embers glowing like embers of trust. Through seasonal whispers, spring brings renewals where silent agreements bloom like crocuses piercing soil. Families exchanging seeds in quiet barters at garden gates scented with moist earth and budding greens, fostering growth in unified plots that yield abundant crops. Summer's languor sees packs in shaded groves picnics, laid on blankets with breads and cheeses scented of fresh churned butter. Discussions flowing like lazy streams about shared investments in wells, drawing cool water, lulling into cooperative ventures that quench communal thirsts. Autumn's abundance manifests in harvest shares, silent nods over wagons laden with grains, whose nutty aroma fills barns, agreements to store surpluses collectively, ensuring winter security in cellars cool and shadowed. Winter's introspection deepens bonds by hearthside, families visiting with gifts of woven scarves scented with wool, and herbs, unspoken promises to aid in snowbound times, fostering warmth that transcends the chill. These layered silences, dear listener, reveal agreements as gentle architects of legacy, their unspoken nature a lullaby of trust, guiding us toward the elders' counsel in tranquil wisdom. In reflective pauses, families honor these pacts with heirlooms past rings engraved with subtle symbols, their gold worn from wearing, embodying alliances without words, dreamy in their significance. As generations entwine, silent agreements ensure wealth's tapestry remains unbroken, evoking serene fulfillment in unity's embrace. Chapter 10. The Elders' Counsel. In the woven hush of silent agreements, where familial bonds and marital alliances intertwine, like vines in a moonlit arbor, their leaves whispering secrets of unity that strengthen the roots of legacy without a single uttered vow, dear listener. Let us now ease into the venerable guidance that crowns the generational arc. The Elders' Counsel, those sage voices of ancestors who, in their twilight years, offer pearls of wisdom not through stern edicts or voluminous tomes, but through gentle stories and reflective musings shared by flickering hearth fires, fostering the perpetuation of wealth through enlightened foresight and compassionate teachings, like ancient rivers imparting their depths to younger streams in peaceful merger, ensuring the family's fortunes endure with grace and depth. Imagine a cozy study within the legacy home walls, lined with shelves bowing under the weight of heirloom books, the air scented with aged leather bindings and the subtle vanilla of yellowed pages turned by time. As elders gather with the young under lamplight, casting soft golden pools on woven rugs their counsel, flowing like a dreamy lullaby, recounting paths of prudence, each anecdote a soothing wave that lulls you into a state of profound introspection, much like how wisdom settles upon the soul like dew on morning meadows, inviting your mind to meander through these venerable exchanges, where counsel becomes the invisible compass guiding wealth's journey, evoking a serene sense of timeless enlightenment that eases the spirit into restful wisdom, turning elders' words into beacons, illuminating the way forward for generations yet unborn. Dear listener, surrender to the enveloping warmth of this counsel, your breath sensing with the unhurried cadence of storytelling voices, as we envision a grandfather, his face etched with lines like maps of lived experiences, seated in a high-backed chair carved from estate oaks, whose wood exudes a faint resinous aroma blended with pipe, smoke curling lazily upward, sharing tales of early investments, how he once traded a handful of gold for shares in a communal mill, its wheel churning steadily by the stream with a rhythmic splash scented with fresh water and stone-ground flour, yielding returns that bolstered family coffers through lean seasons, fostering dreamy lessons where the young learn to discern opportunity and subtlety, lulling them into attentive silences as they absorb the essence of patience, without rigid instructions, just the peaceful narration that turns past choices into guiding stars, inviting you to feel the chair's worn upholstery under your form, soft and inviting, symbolizing how elders' counsel weaves foresight into the tapestry of legacy, ensuring wealth multiplies, not through haste, but through measured steps, like a gardener pruning branches to encourage fuller blooms in sun-kissed gardens, where butterflies dance on breezes, carrying floral nectars, turning the study into a sanctuary where generational knowledge flows as freely as wine from a shared decanter, its ruby depths glimmering in crystal glasses passed hand to hand. Feel the study's intimate glow drawing you inward as a grandmother joins the circle, her voice a melodic murmur like wind through autumn leaves, recounting strategies of diversification, planting varied crops in the fields to hedge against droughts, rows of wheat swaying golden beside hardy root vegetables unearthed with earthy scents of soil and freshness, or investing in artisanal crafts sold at markets under canopies rustling with canvas flaps, fostering a dreamy balance where risks are mitigated through variety, lulling the listeners into visualizations of bountiful harvests where baskets overflow with produce scented of ripe tomatoes and herbs like basil releasing pungent oils when brushed, without the weight of mandates, just the serene imparting of resilience that fortifies family bonds, inviting your thoughts to wander through those fields, feeling the sun's gentle warmth on your skin and the soil crumbling softly between fingers, as counsel emphasizes the virtue of adaptability, turning potential adversities into opportunities for growth, evoking a profound sense of empowered tranquility where elders' wisdom acts as a gentle rudder steering the ship of legacy through calm and stormy waters alike, ensuring the homes remain havens of abundance, their pantries and vaults ever replenished like wells drawing from eternal springs. As evening deepens, envision the counsel extending to matters of stewardship, an elder aunt leaning forward in her shawl, scented with lavender from garden sachets, her eyes twinkling like stars in the lamplight as she advises on ethical dealings, honoring silent agreements with fairness, perhaps, forgiving a debtor's delay during hardships, fostering long-term alliances that bloom like perennials. In spring meadows dotted with wildflowers, their petals unfurling in vibrant hues under dewy mornings, lulling the young into principles of compassion that yield richer dividends than strict enforcement, without moralizing tones, just the peaceful anecdotes of how kindness returned manifold, inviting relaxation as you imagine the shawl's soft folds, warm and reassuring, symbolizing how counsel nurtures not only wealth, but the soul's integrity, turning family gatherings into dreamy symposiums where laughter mingles with insight, ensuring legacies endure with honor intact, like ancient trees whose bark, rough yet protective, shelters inner vitality through seasons of change. Extend this reverie into nocturnal hours when counsel turns to reflections on challenges. Overcome elders recounting economic tempests navigated with hidden reserves, gold buried under hearthstones. During uncertain times, its metallic coolness a secret comfort unearthed when skies cleared to blue serenity, scented with fresh rains, fostering lessons in discretion that lull descendants into prudent habits, such as maintaining discreet accounts in velvet-lined boxes tucked in library alcoves, their contents clinking faintly like distant chimes, without paranoia, just harmonious vigilance that preserves fortunes, inviting you to envision the hearth's embers glowing red, casting shadows that dance like living memories on walls adorned with portraits of forebears, eyes seeming to watch approvingly as wisdom is passed, evoking serene continuity. Through seasonal gatherings, spring council blooms with advice on renewals, elders guiding plantings in gardens, awakening with green shoots, piercing soil scented with fertile earth fostering innovations, like hybrid crops that resist blights, lulling into optimistic sowings, where each seed holds promise of multiplied yields. Summer's warmth brings sessions on harvests, under verandas shaded by vines heavy with grapes exuding juicy sweetness, counsel on storage techniques in cool cellars scented with aging woods, ensuring abundance carries through, dreamy in its foresight. Autumn's crisp air sees reflections on reaping, elders sharing by bonfires, crackling with fallen branches scented of smoke and spice, advising on fair divisions that honor silent pacts, lulling into equitable distributions that strengthen familial ties. Winter's introspection deepens counsel by firesides, snow blanketing windows in silent white, the air inside warm with mulled cider cinnamon notes, elders imparting tales of endurance, fostering inner strength that warms like the hearth's glow. These layered sessions, dear listener, illuminate elders' counsel as a gentle fountain of wisdom, their teachings a lullaby enriching legacies, guiding us toward the cycle's renewal in tranquil circle. In quiet culminations, counsel culminates in blessings, elders placing hands on youthful heads, their touch warm and affirming, embedding insights without words, dreamy in transmission. As wisdom permeates, families embody these teachings, turning counsel into living practice, ensuring wealth's arc curves ever upward in serene perpetuity. Chapter 11. The Cycle's Renewal. in the luminous wake of the elders' profound counsel, where wisdom lingers like the afterglow of a harvest moon, casting silvery veils over legacy homes and their whispering gardens, illuminating paths for the young to tread with enlightened steps. Dear listener, let us now glide effortlessly into the eternal rhythm that sustains all the cycle's renewal, where generational wealth, having blossomed through passing, wisdom, expansion, homes, challenges, agreements, and counsel, circles back to rebirth in the hearts of the next kin, not as an abrupt rebirth or fervent revolution, but as a serene blossoming of fresh innovations and adaptive traditions, fostering the perpetual flowering of fortunes like a timeless orchard where fruits ripen, fall, and seed anew in harmonious succession, ensuring legacy endures in an unbroken loop of gentle evolution. Imagine the soft blush of dawn, painting the estate's horizons in pastel hues of rose and gold, scented with the fresh awakening of dew-kissed blossoms and the faint, earthy promise of newly turned soil in expansive fields, as the third generation, nurtured by ancestral teachings, gathers in the great hall to envision their contributions, perhaps introducing subtle enhancements like enchanted looms weaving finer threads, or community cooperatives blending trades. Each idea a whisper of renewal that lulls you into a state of dreamy optimism, much like how spring follows winter in quiet inevitability, inviting your mind to wander through this cyclical narrative, where wealth's wheel turns with graceful momentum, evoking a peaceful sense of infinite continuity that soothes the soul and eases the spirit into restful rejuvenation, turning renewal into a bridge connecting eras in velvety embrace. Dear listener, allow the cycle's gentle turning to cradle you, like a hammock swaying under ancient boughs, heavy with leaves rustling in a light breeze your breaths, harmonizing with the subtle pulse of generational rebirth as we envision the young heirs, their eyes alight with inherited insight, standing in the sunlit atrium of the legacy home, where vines climb latticework, releasing tendrils scented with green vitality and faint floral hints, discussing ways to renew the family as ventures infusing caravans with innovative routes through unexplored glades where wild herbs grow in profusion, their leaves crushed underfoot, exuding medicinal aromas that inspire new trade goods like herbal infusions bottled in glass vials, catching sunlight like prisms, fostering a dreamy evolution where old paths merge with fresh discoveries, lulling the family into collaborative mornings, mapping these journeys on parchments spread across tables, polished to a sheen reflecting morning light, without disrupting traditions. Just the peaceful integration that turns expansion into perpetual bloom, inviting you to feel the parchment's texture under your fingertips, crisp and inviting, symbolizing how renewal breathes new life into silent agreements, ensuring wealth circulates like blood through a living body, turning shops into hubs of novel crafts where artisans experiment with dyes from estate gardens, colors vibrant as autumn foliage scented with berry juices and petal essences, evoking a profound sense of vibrant continuity as legacies adapt to changing tides, like rivers finding new courses, yet always reaching the sea in tranquil flow. Feel the atrium's airy spaciousness enveloping you, as renewal extends to the lands themselves. The third generation planting hybrid orchards, blending ancestral apple trees with hardy new varieties, blossoms unfurling in spring profusions of pink and white petals, drifting like soft snow on breezes, carrying sweet nectars that attract bees, humming in harmonious industry, fostering dreamy harvests where fruits ripen to juicier perfections, their skins glossy under summer suns, lulling pickers into rhythmic labors amid rows shaded by canopies rustling like whispered encouragements, without abandoning maternal wisdom, just enhancing it with elders. Counsel on sustainable tilling that enriches soil with compost scented of decayed leaves and fertile humus. Inviting your thoughts to stroll through these groves, tasting the imagined crispness of an apple bitten into, its juices tart and refreshing. As families renew challenges lessons by fortifying homes with subtle additions, reinforced cellars stocked with diversified preserves, jars, sealing with pops, echoing like satisfied sighs, ensuring resilience against time's whims, turning the cycle into a spiral of upward growth, where wealth accumulates layers like rings in a tree trunk, each band a testament to renewal's quiet power, evoking serene fulfillment in the knowledge that legacies are not static, but living, breathing entities nurtured through generational hands. As midday sun filters through stained glass windows, casting kaleidoscopic patterns on stone floors, worn smooth by countless footsteps, envision the renewal in communal endeavors, young visionaries forging cooperatives with allied families under silent agreements, gathering in village squares where market stalls align in neat rows under oaks, whose acorns scatter like hidden promises on the ground, scented with fresh-baked goods and spiced teas steaming in the air, fostering dreamy partnerships that pool resources for shared mills or expanded caravans laden with collective wares pottery, glazed in innovative hues shimmering like captured rainbows, or textiles woven on improved looms, humming rhythmically in workshops alive with the scent of fresh fibers and dye vats bubbling softly, lulling participants into equitable distributions of profits, clinking in communal, chests lined with soft cloth to muffle sounds without competition's edge. Just the harmonious blending that multiplies fortunes, inviting relaxation as you imagine the square's bustling yet peaceful energy, feeling the warmth of shared smiles and handshakes firm yet gentle, as these renewals honor elders' counsel by embedding ethical innovations, turning potential stagnation into vibrant progression, like a garden perennially replanted, with seeds selected for resilience and yield, ensuring the cycle's wheel turns ever forward in balanced grace. Extend this reverie into twilight hours, when renewal manifests in introspective rituals, families retreating to the legacy home's library, where candles flicker with beeswax scents mingling with ancient tomes. Musty embrace, the young poring over journals of past generations, their pages yellowed and inked with elegant scripts recounting early expansions, fostering dreamy inspirations for modern adaptations, like harnessing stream waters for small water wheels powering looms, the mechanisms turning with watery murmurs scented of moss and clear flows, lulling into nights of sketching designs by firelight, casting elongated shadows on walls, ensuring innovations align with core values of thrift and community, without radical upheavals, just serene evolutions that deepen roots. Through seasonal renewals, spring awakens with plantings of new varietals in fields awakening green and fertile, scented with blooming soil and pollen-laden airs, fostering growth that honors the passing of gold by yielding surplus for investments, lulling into optimistic cycles where each sprout embodies hope's gentle unfurling. Summer's peak sees harvests renewed through cooperative reaping under suns, warming air scented with cut hay and ripening grains, families sharing tools forged in renewed forges, clanging rhythmically, turning bounty into preserved wealth, stored in expanded larders cool and shadowed. Autumn's mellowing brings reflections on yields, gatherings around bonfires, crackling with scented woods, counsel renewed in stories adapted for current times, lulling into preparations where surpluses fund winter's quiet innovations, dreamy in their foresight. Winter's repose allows gestation of ideas, by hearths warming with log fires scented of pine and spice, families brainstorming in cozy circles, fostering renewals that emerge with spring's thaw, ensuring the cycle's vitality persists in harmonious rhythm. These layered renewals, dear listener, paint the cycle as a gentle eternal dance, its movements a lullaby of progression, guiding us toward the echoes of eternity in tranquil infinity. In culminating moments, families celebrate these rebirths with feasts where laughter echoes in halls, dishes scented with renewed spices, embodying the arc's completion, yet openness to endless loops, without endings, just perpetual harmony. As the cycle renews, legacies flourish anew, turning each generation into stewards of an ever-blooming garden, evoking serene wonder in wealth's infinite tapestry. Chapter 12. The Eternal Legacy. In the perpetual dance of the cycle's renewal, where fresh innovations and adaptive traditions bloom like eternal orchards yielding fruits in endless seasons, their branches heavy with the weight of ripened wisdom passed from one generation to the next in seamless flow. Dear listener, let us now ascend into the culminating essence that transcends all the eternal legacy, that boundless continuum where generational wealth achieves its zenith, not in finite accumulations or grand finales, but in the infinite tapestry of shared stories, enduring values, and unbreakable spirits that echo through time, fostering a dreamy immortality where fortunes become legends whispered in the winds of history, like ancient stars whose light persists across vast cosmic expanses, guiding future kin with luminous grace. Imagine the vast expanse of a starlit night over the legacy estate, scented with the nocturnal hush of sleeping gardens, and the faint, ethereal perfume of moonflowers unfurling their pale petals in quiet reverence. As families across generations convene spirit-living airs, mingling with ancestral memories in the great hall as timeless embrace, reflecting on the arc from humble seeds to boundless horizons, each reminiscence a soothing caress that lulls you into a state of transcendent peace, much like how oceans cradle shores in rhythmic waves without end, inviting your mind to soar through this ethereal narrative, where legacy becomes an undying flame, illuminating paths unseen, evoking a profound sense of everlasting harmony that soothes the soul and eases the spirit into infinite repose, turning the eternal into a sanctuary of velvety perpetuity. Dear listener, allow the boundless aura of this legacy to enfold you like the soft infinity of a starry sky, your breaths deepening in unison with the timeless pulse of familial lore. As we envision the culmination in a grand family chronicle, elders and youth alike gathered around a massive tome bound in leather, softened by ages of touch, its pages illuminated by chandeliers dripping with crystal facets that scatter light like captured constellations. The air scented with the musty depth of vellum and faint inks from quills dipped in midnight hues, chronicling the journey from the first passing of gold in sunlit valleys where coins glinted like fallen suns, to maternal wisdom stewed in herb-infused kitchens alive with simmering pots and bread's warm yeast, fostering a dreamy compilation where each entry, scripted in elegant loops, preserves not just deeds, but the essence of souls, lulling readers into immersive reveries as fingers trace faded words, recounting expansions of shops with shelves groaning under artisanal weights scented of spices and wovens, without closure's finality, just the peaceful extension that turns history into living breath, inviting you to feel the tome's hefty presence in your hands, its binding cool and reassuring, symbolizing how eternal legacy weaves individual threads into an indestructible cloth, ensuring wealth's immortality through narratives that inspire perpetual renewal, like rivers eternally fed by mountain springs, cascading with crystalline clarity scented of alpine mists, turning the hall into a vault of intangible riches where voices from the past resonate in harmonious choir, evoking serene awe in the realization that legacies outlive stone and gold, enduring as echoes in the hearts of descendants. Feel the chronicle's pages turning with a whisper, drawing you deeper into the legacy's core, as tales unfold of homes rising like phoenixes from expanded fortunes, their halls echoing with laughter and counsel, shared by hearth fires crackling with logs, scented of ancient forests and resinous warmth, fostering dreamy vignettes where challenges of time storms waging with petrichor aftermaths and economic mists veiling markets in hushed uncertainty are surmounted through silent agreements sealed in garden arbors heavy with honeysuckle, sweet allure lulling kin into collective remembrances of resilience without sorrow's shadow, just the serene illumination that transforms trials into triumphs etched in memory's gold, inviting your thoughts to linger on hearthside scenes, feeling the fire as gentle heat on your skin and the woolen blankets draped over laps soft as clouds, as families honor the cycle as renewal by inscribing new chapters of innovations, like ethereal cooperatives linking distant clans via trade routes, winding through meadows, blooming with wildflowers in perpetual spring, their petals releasing pollens that carry scents of renewal across valleys, ensuring the legacy's eternity through adaptive evolutions that blend tradition with vision, evoking a profound sense of boundless continuity where wealth becomes a cosmic force, orbiting through generations like planets in eternal dance, turning every home into a nexus of timeless energy. As midnight deepens, envision the legacy manifesting in sacred rituals, families assembling under the estate as domed observatory where telescopes pierce night skies twinkling with stars like distant inheritances, the air cool and scented, with cosmic vastness mingled with polished brass and oiled wood. Elders recounting how silent pacts and elders' council forged alliances that span eras, fostering dreamy ceremonies where heirlooms rings engraved with celestial motifs glowing faintly in moonlight are amulets, holding locks of ancestral hair, scented with faded lavender, are passed to the young, lulling them into vows of stewardship, whispered to the void without formal oaths, just the peaceful transference that immortalizes values of prudence and unity, inviting relaxation as you imagine gazing through the lens, stars blurring into visions of future abundances, where caravans evolve into fleets, traversing seas with sails, billowing like breaths of wind, scented of salt and adventure, turning potential endings into infinite beginnings, evoking serene wonder in legacy's eternal scope, like galaxies spiraling in graceful infinity. Extend this reverie into dawn's approach, when the eternal legacy reveals itself in communal visions, gatherings in sun-rising courtyards, where fountains murmur with watery songs scented of stone and morning mists, families envisioning legacies extending beyond horizons perhaps, ethereal academies teaching maternal wisdoms in halls lined with tapestries depicting cyclical renewals, threads dyed in hues from garden blooms releasing aromatic memories, fostering education that lulls learners into enlightened pursuits, ensuring wealth's perpetuity through knowledge shared like heirloom seeds sown in fertile minds, without boundaries, just harmonious dissemination that enriches collective souls, inviting you to hear the fountain splash, cool droplets refreshing as dew on leaves. Through temporal layers, the eternal legacy unfolds in perpetual motifs, spring as eternal bloom, where new airs plant symbols of renewal in gardens, evergreen with scents of eternal florals, fostering growth that echoes the first gold's passing in cycles unbroken. Summer's timeless warmth sees festivals honoring expansions, under eternal suns where dances swirl in patterns scented of eternal spices, lulling communities into bonds that defy time's erosion, dreamy in their vitality. Autumn's perpetual harvest gathers fruits of challenges overcome. In eternal orchards, scented of ripening eternities, families sharing bounties that sustain through infinite seasons, fostering gratitude's endless flow. Winter's infinite hush brings introspections by eternal fires, scented of timeless woods, counsel renewed in stories that loop eternally, lulling into dreams where legacies slumber only to awaken refreshed. These layered eternities, dear listener, unveil the legacy as an undying symphony, its notes a lullaby of infinity, concluding our journey, yet opening to boundless horizons in tranquil perpetuity. In final whispers, families embrace this eternity with hearts full, their unity a beacon shining through ages, embodying wealth's ultimate form, immortal in spirit, serene in essence. As the arc completes its circle, the eternal legacy invites endless contemplation, turning every end into a new dawn's promise, evoking peaceful transcendence.